You don't know Lena likes you? Oh, fuck. Suddenly the door flew open, and Olga Dmitrovna came in. Lounging around again, huh? Wow, bitch, after the week you put me through? Yeah, just resting. It's so hot out there. Go and help Slavia, she was asking around. Where? I asked lazily. On the sports field. Oh, I haven't been there in a while. Reluctantly, I got up and headed out. I should really air up my brain anyway. There were a lot of people on the sports grounds. Some were playing football, others were playing badminton. Poof! Younger kids were just chasing each other. Semyon! Slavia walked up to me. You require my assistance? I asked, all official-like. Yeah. Listen, did you take the infirmary key? No. Why me again, anyway? Well, you were there a lot recently. I guess she's right. No? Maybe you know who did? No, why? The nurse came up to ask to... I'm sorry. The nurse came up to me to ask for my key. You know that I have a key to every building in the camp. She said hers went missing. Could she have lost it? I shrugged. No, she said she couldn't have. I don't know, okay? Okay. She smiled and ran off. I headed to the camp leader's house, determined to get some sleep after all. Olga Dmitrovna wasn't there, thank God, so I fell on the bed and lost consciousness. I don't exactly remember what I dreamt of, but it left a heavy impression, as afternoon naps often do. I put some effort into getting off the bed and looked at the clock. It was just after 7. Not surprising if you think about it. I should have expected to sleep through the day. Although, as it turns out, I missed dinner as well. That thought made me uncomfortable, and I headed to the exit. I stopped on the threshold and thought of what to do next. I don't know how long I would have stood there, my head was still heavy after sleep, if someone hadn't called out to me. Slavia was quickly walking towards the cabin. Semyon! She started, breathless. Are you sure you don't have the infirmary key? Of course not. Why would I need it? Well, do you know who took it? No, I don't. Why? Well, something has gone missing. What? Something important. Slavia hesitated. Some medication. So all this disturbance was started because of some medication. Although, I pondered. I mean, I have the bottle in my cabin. Did she mean that? I tried to keep my face still as stone, without doing anything to give myself away. Okay. I don't know, I'm sorry. Okay, Slavia said in frustration. I looked at her and tried to figure out how bad the situation was for me, or whether I was in trouble at all. On the one hand, the vodka. I did steal it. Then again, she's saying it's gone as in disappeared all by itself with no external influence, although it's highly unlikely that she would say that a bottle of trophy vodka was stolen from the infirmary. So the way it was said was okay, the problem was different. I suddenly got really scared. What if they found out it was me? Even if it wasn't about the bottle, they'd still find it, well, looking for what was gone. Basically, I had to get a move on. The main thing to do right now was to get rid of all the evidence. I jumped into the cabin, shoved the bottle under my belt, and raced to the forest. Burying it somewhere was the best decision at the moment. I took my time looking for a spot, never noticing night falling on the cab. A familiar voice surprised me. Hey! I struggled to turn back, making my face look as casual as possible. So, what's going on here? No, I'm just having a walk. My voice sounded calm, but I already understood. I couldn't fool Alyssa. Alone? At night? In the woods? Well, yeah, what's wrong? Nothing at all. She stared at me. Okay, then I'll... Hold on. Aren't you forgetting something? Don't think so. We had an agreement. About? About tonight. I think she's right. There was something like that. Yes, but you see... No, I don't. Let's go. She turned around and gestured me to follow. I thought there was no point in arguing. Any word or action could give me away. None. Sighing, I followed. It was a couple of minutes before we reached her cabin. While we were walking, I was busy trying to find the best time and place to ditch the vodka. Alyssa stayed so close that I couldn't manage anything. Well? She stared at me. Well, what? Semyon, you were in a lady's room after dark. I was so nervous that my hair was wet with sweat. The only thing on my mind at the moment was how to adjust the bottle so she wouldn't notice. What do you say? About what? Alyssa pondered. Okay, guess you're right. I brought you here, so I'm the one to decide. Okay, I agreed, unsure. Hold on a minute. She reached into the bed, and in a few seconds, pulled out the bottle of Stolichnaya vodka. I was shocked. Surprised, huh? Of course. Not by the vodka itself, though, but by the fact that it was the exact bottle I carried to the infirmary in the morning. The murky contents gave it away. So? Alyssa looked at me teasingly. What? Want to take a shot? I didn't even know what to say to that. What she had was just rotten water. The real vodka was in the bottle under my belt. Well, I kind of... Don't tell me you don't drink, Alyssa pouted. I don't know. No, I just... Alright then, just a second. In an instant, Alyssa got 2 glasses and filled them to the brim. Alyssa, let's do this, she said, giving me one of the glasses and down hers before I could answer. Ugh, she gasped. In a moment she realized, what on earth is that? She started spitting. They call this vodka? Despite my difficulty, I couldn't help laughing. What are you laughing at? Alicia shouted, red in the face. I'm asking you, what's so funny? It actually is funny. So you're having fun? Drink yours, we'll see how you laugh then. I had no desire to try the stale water, but just to avoid making her suspicious, I asked, So, how does it taste? Like rotten water, Alyssa said, upset. I was just going to relax a bit, have a cultured timeout, and then a cultured timeout, I repeated as a new bout of laughter bent me in half. Hey, stop it! Alyssa shouted and jumped at me. She was trying to hit me, or bite me, or something. Maybe her plan was to crush me to death with her authority. I just grabbed her hands, and all she could do was gasp in powerless anger. All was going fine, but then Alyssa's legs slid and she began to fall. I let go of her hand, so she fell right on top of me, painfully head-butting me in the nose. I moaned in pain, threw her off, and turned to the side. What do we have here? When I realized she had taken the bottle, all the pain disappeared. Hey, give me that back! I tried to get the bottle back, but Alyssa nimbly jumped off the bed and ran to the far corner of the room. Let's see, huh? She immediately removed the cap and took a big gulp. In a moment, her face went red and her eyes seemed to pop out of their sockets. What? What is this? She rasped while coming back to her senses. That's the actual vodka. I seemed to have come to terms with my defeat. But where did you get it? You really thought you had stolen the right one from the infirmary? She nodded. Well, it was the right bottle, sure, but the contents... Man, you're clever. She was already starting to slur her words. Alyssa came to the window, poured the water out of my glass, and replaced it with vodka. Come on. I don't want it. Really, this is not the right time or place. Drink it, or else I'll tell everyone you stole the bottle. But it was you. Will you have the vodka? You can't prove that. You think I even have to? Alyssa said maliciously. Unsure what to do, I stared at the glass. What's important is to get rid of the vodka. This was just one of the ways to do it. I breathed out abruptly and swallowed the contents of the glass in one quick motion. A short moment after, I regretted that. Got any food to chase this? Wait a second. Alyssa said excitedly and pulled a huge stack of ham out of a drawer. I tore it from her hands and bit off a big piece. Whew. So how is it? You're asking? It's not like I have full-strength booze every day, you know. I didn't really understand how I had agreed to this so easily. Well, how was it? Like double bubble with vodka flavor. Alright, time for another round then. She opened the bottle again and poured us a half glass each. Don't you think that's enough? No way. Well, since we've already started. The alcohol was starting its work. Without a second thought, I gulped down the vodka. Alyssa was definitely less experienced. She was having some trouble with her second glass. How does it? She seemed really drunk already. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, I said merrily, pouring myself some more. Somewhere deep inside, I realized it was too much, but the gun was already loaded. How about me? Alyssa was outraged. Haven't you had enough? No way. She grabbed the bottle from my hand and started to drink straight from it. Hey, we have glasses, you know. Screw 'em, she shouted and roared in laughter. This is so cool, she said, catching her breath. Sure, it's not bad. I looked at the bottle. We'd gone through 2/3. I was definitely drunk by that point, and Alyssa seemed even worse. Then again, there was barely anything left. I sighed and poured a full glass for myself and a half glass for Alyssa. That's all? With these words, she chucked the bottle from the window. What if they find it? Ow, who cares? We both laughed. Okay then, for all ladies present, I grunted and drank. And for all the gentlemen, she followed my lead. I'm getting dizzy. Oh, she undid a few buttons on her shirt. I carefully looked at her. Had she always been this beautiful? Or is everyone beautiful to me at this point? Whichever it was, I could not force myself to look away. You're gonna stare a hole through me if you keep going like that. Alyssa laughed. Sorry. Embarrassed, I stared at my feet. You can look if you're so interested. With some effort, I opened an eye and saw her continuing to unbutton her shirt. No words could escape my mouth. Besides, who needs words at a moment like this? What happened then was what was supposed to happen. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. At the time, I was unable to think of what was right to do. I didn't want to. It just felt good. The light bulb burned out, or one of us turned off the light, but either way the room went dark. I looked around her cabin and thought of something. Where's Eliana? What, you're afraid someone will come in and see us? She grinned warmly. Could happen. I asked her to spend the night at another girl's cabin. Wait, so you planned all this? Well, not something like this, of course. She looked at me intently, smiled, and closed her eyes. Yeah. I stared at the ceiling for a while longer and soon heard quiet, deep breathing. Alyssa was asleep. My head ached suddenly. The alcohol seemed to be wearing off. Best thing to do in this case is to follow her lead and get some sleep as well. Before I finished the thought, I was already fast asleep. Oh, day 7 with Alyssa. Oh my gosh, they did the thing, and they slept cutely afterward. That's it. Some people were chasing me. Or maybe they weren't people, but fuzzy black dots with a hellish landscape in the background. I ran, stumbling over something, having nowhere to breathe. My whole essence was overtaken by primal fear and terror, and then a memory lapse. I opened my swollen eyelids only for my eyes to be struck by bright daylight. Terrible taste in my mouth. Pains all over my body and several headaches. And a severe headache. It seems someone was drinking hard yesterday. After coming to my senses, I started to recall the events of last night. I believe there was a bottle of vodka, which I happily emptied together with Alyssa. I tried to stand up, but something was pinning my left arm. It was the peacefully snoring Alyssa. Everything that happened returned to my mind. Fear was quickly relapsed by a feeling of euphoria. I relaxed lazily on the bed, enjoying a beautiful hungover morning. Sometime later, Alyssa woke up. I kissed her softly and said, "Good morning." She gave me a blank look for a couple of seconds and then jumped up shouting, You! Me what? Yesterday you... She hissed. But it was kind of your idea. I was drunk! So was I. What can you do? Alyssa was furiously looking at me, but then calmed down and sat beside me. Alright, whatever happened, happened. You sure? I got up and tried to hug her. Don't, she whispered, blushing. Why? Because. Alyssa frantically shook her head. Because it's 4 o'clock already. And what? Don't tell me you're late for something. Everyone will leave without us. Leave where? Today's the last day. The last day of what? I asked, completely confused. The last day of the term. What? The hangover that seemed to have already passed a while ago made a sharp comeback. Don't tell me you don't know, I asked Alyssa in surprise. So you did know it? Well, yeah, but I'd forgotten it somehow. And what should we do now? Actually, that wasn't the main thing I was concerned about. If today's the last day, then everyone will go somewhere. So I can get out of this camp somehow. Well, I have no idea. Maybe we can still make it. I jumped out of the bed and started dressing quickly. It was difficult, as my coordination was badly disturbed by yesterday's lavish indulgence. What are you waiting for? Alyssa didn't reply, but started dressing too. A couple of minutes later, we were standing at the deserted square. Let's go to the camp leader's cabin. After opening Olga Dimitrievna's cabin with my key, I found nobody inside. We checked the entire camp and found that we were alone here. After returning to the square, I sat down and covered my face with hands like a doomed man. With my hands like a doomed man. I still felt sick, but now it turned out that I had to solve a serious problem. Where would they have gone? Well, it says a district center, I guess. Do you know where it is? Approximately. Is it possible to reach it on foot? Don't know. And how long would it take on a bus? A couple of hours. Quickly, I reckon how much that is in kilometers. Taking into consideration the quality of the Soviet motor car industry and Soviet roads, one could presume that it is quite possible to reach it on foot, provided the Alyssa knows the exact direction. Moreover, in my situation, it's not easy to decide on such steps. But we can't stay here either. Alone, without food, in a deserted pioneer camp. In real life, it would be a definitely bad idea, and I had no other choice but to treat everything happening as a reality. Let's go. Where? To the district center. Are you mad? You'd prefer to stay here. Sure, they'll notice that we're missing and we'll return. Don't you think that it's odd that they didn't notice it during departure? Well, yeah, but... She started to think. But to go somewhere all on our own. Well, you said you knew the direction. I do, she agreed without confidence. So what's there to think about? Maybe we'll encounter some local buses on the way. I don't really believe that myself. But if there's an exit from this camp, this idea seems quite solid. I don't know, as you say. She prattled on confusedly. Start packing your stuff. Meet here in half an hour. I ran towards Olga Dimitrievna's cabin.